Hi, and thanks for joining. Today's new release day at Technique Junkies. Here's an image that shows you all of the new stamps. New stamps are on sale for 15% off now through July the 8th. If you're like me and you've just got to have it all, there is a bundle discount for 25% savings if you want to get the Gotta Have It All bundle. Also, I wanted to let you know that I have a discount code, which is TJ10Tracy. Code can't be used with any other discounts or on any sale items, just regular price items. You can use my discount code on everything else that's available at Technique Junkies, all the wonderful stamps, stencils, Catherine Pooler inks, eyes ink, glitter pastes, and much, much more. All right, so I have this stamp that's part of the new release. It's called A Best Friend, and it says, a best friend is someone who understands your past, believes in your future, and accepts you for the way you are today. We're going to just do some simple ink blending and heat embossing to create a card using this one. So I'm just going ahead and taking it out. The Technique Junkies stamps are all red rubber stamps. And I have my stamping platform, and I'm just going to position this on here. I am using a larger piece of paper just because I'm going to be doing some heat embossing and some ink blending, and I just want to have a little bit of extra space to be able to do that. I also am going to use a die to die cut this sentiment, an image, and stamp image out after I'm done with this work. Okay, so I have my Rabbit Hole Designs embossing tool. This one has powder in it, and you just take the brush across your paper and a little bit of powder comes out, and that helps to remove any fingerprints that might be left behind on your paper. It also helps to decrease the static electricity so that you emboss what you want to emboss, not the entire piece of paper. Now I'm going to use my Versamark ink and stamp that on top of this stamp. And then I'll go ahead and grab my stamp my stamp pressure tool, and this helps me to get a nice even pressure and make sure that it's all stamped, no blank spaces. I'm going to do it twice just in case. So I wanted to let you know that I'm excited to be going to a stamp show this month with my friend Nancy Stamps. We're going to be attending the SSAT show, which is in Monroeville near Pittsburgh, July 16th and July 17th. So hopefully if you're in this area of Western Pennsylvania or Ohio or West Virginia, or Maryland, you might venture to that, and hopefully we'll get to see some folks there. But I am looking forward to getting some other Technique Junkies stamps. I like this time of month because all of the design team members post their designs, and I get to see maybe some stamps that were released in the past that I never purchased. They were released before I became a design team member, and that gives me ideas of what I might want to get. Plus, it's always very nice to see Pat, who is the owner of Technique Junkies, and just be able to browse everything that's displayed, because it's one thing to look at things online on a web store, but to have everything out and that you can take your time and just peruse everything, that's very nice. So I'm super excited to be going. All right, so this one is ready to be heat embossed. So I used gold embossing powder, and let's go ahead and grab the heat gun and warm this up, and let's go ahead and do our embossing. I am going to just use a little pair of reverse tweezers just to hold on to this so that I don't lose it and drop it or get my fingers too close to the heat gun, because this sucker gets hot. This heat gun is really powerful. And I have to also be careful I don't burn my paper, so I have to move from side to side. Now, in the interest of time, I did speed this up. This is not real time, but I'm sure most of you are very familiar with how to do heat embossing. Okay, I'm pleased with that result, so I'm going to do some ink blending now. I have 3 colors of Catherine Pooler inks: Chiffon, which is this yellow, Catching Rays, which is orange, and Pucker Up, which is pink. So I'm just trying to create a sunset or sunrise background. This is very easy to do. I'm using foam dome blending tools, and I'm using Hammermill Premium color paper, Hammermill Premium color copy paper, and it's 80 pounds. When you are ink blending, you want to make sure that your inks are saturated or juicy, and you want to make sure that your paper is smooth. That's the best way to get good results when you're ink blending. This pink looks so bright compared to the orange and the yellow, but when they're blended together, they look really very nice together, and it's not so bright. I'm going to go back over the Pucker Up with the ink dauber that I used for Catching Rays. It still has a little bit of ink on it, and I think that really blended together well and looks good together. And then I go ahead and grab that, still have that orange blending tool, and I'm going up a little bit into the yellow with it. Now, I did not film me putting the card together. I think I lost some footage, but it was very simple. I just put some gold gems on the front of the panel, and then I took the Pucker Up ink pad and I drug it around the 4 corners of my card base, creating an matching background. That's what's nice about the Catherine Pooler inks. You can go direct from the ink pad to the paper and do a drag, and then you're getting a really great match, and you basically could foreseeably not have to buy any colored paper, because you could use your ink pad to create whatever color that you need, all your ink pads. And by the way, Technique Junkies does sell Catherine Pooler ink pads, and you can use my discount code TJ10 Tracy for them. Okay, let's move on to my next card. I have this stamp set that's called Tropical Corners, set of 2. Technique Junkies every once in a while will come out with these corner stamps. You can use one or you can use both for your project, your card. And for today, I'm going to use both. And I'm going to again use my stamp positioning platform and align my stamp up, and then I'm going to heat emboss it with clear embossing powder. Okay, so I've applied the Versamark, I stamped it on my paper. Now let's go ahead and apply the clear embossing powder. Because it is clear, you're not going to see it as much as I will. It won't be as easy to see when I apply the heat to it. But for the technique that I want to do today, I think the clear embossing powder just works out fine. Okay, now that I have the panel heat embossed, I'm going to use 4 different colors of Catherine Pooler ink. I have Sage, Seafoam, Skylight, and Oh Boy. I'm going to use my smaller blending brushes to apply these colors to the leaves. And I'm just going to vary the colors. There's really no set way to do this. Just go with what you think looks nice. I'm going to start with Seafoam. And these blender brushes do have a little bit of a smaller head on them because it is a little bit of a small area. And it's okay to go outside and not, how can I say it? Next I'm going to use Sage. You're not coloring per se, you're just blending some ink over top of that embossed area that you just created. So it's okay to sort of have a glow with a little bit of ink around the leaves. And then we'll go with some Skylight. And I did grab the tiny blending brush in an effort to get some of those tinier branches or greenery. But if you only have the larger blending tools, you can still use those. And then I'm just going to go back in with the color that I previously started with and blend this together. I'm going to go ahead and put this on fast forward so that in the interest of time, you can still see my process, but not in real time because I'm a little bit slow. I'm a slow crafter. I just thought these colors would remind me of a tropical type leaf or greenery. And the white is really nice because it's really popping. And then for the center, I'm using Oh Boy, which is a light blue ink. And at first I was like, oh, I have to be really careful I don't get any on the leaves, but really it doesn't matter because everything's getting blended together anyways. So if the blue gets a little bit on the green, it's okay. It's not going to matter. That leaf will just look blue-green. And then I just go ahead and just keep working it until I'm happy with the way that it's ink blended. Once the ink blending is done, I will take a die from Spellbinders and just die cut a frame around the embossed image. So I grabbed the ink pad and I'm going to just drag it across the 4 edges of my card panel. And this will give me a nice matching background mat. And I have a piece of pearlescent cardstock that I'm using as a card base, and that ink, by the way, is called Hot Tub. But then I have this frame that's the same color, light green, that I see in these leaves. And so I think I'm going to use this frame. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use the frame or not, but after seeing it with the embossed panel, I like the way it looks. And so I'm going to go ahead and lay my embossed and ink blended panel on top of that frame. And then glue everything together. And if you hang on a second, I have some photos of the finished card. I just wanted to say, if you're new to my channel, I hope you'll subscribe and ring the bell so that you can hear about when my videos are posted. I hope that everybody would be willing to give this video a thumbs up if you like my cards, and also leave a comment. What do you think about these two lovely new stamps from Technique Junkies? I have this sentiment set. It's called 4 Little Sentiments, and one of the sentiments is thinking of you. So I heat embossed that using Versa Fine Clair Shady Lane ink and clear embossing powder, and I just put like a small green mat behind it using that same color paper that I used for my frame. One more thing, I hope that you'll join me tonight on my YouTube channel at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. That's July 1st, 2022 at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. I'll be doing a reveal of all the stamps, and also a reveal of all the cards that I created using this new release from Technique Junkies. Thanks everyone. Have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.